Welcome back, and thanks for sticking around. And next time you log into the game, make sure you check out the 2020 Season Pass. You get a limited Zeus skin, 1,000 gems, and a whole lot more content for every god that will be coming out in 2020. So make sure to jump in and give it a look. Mifflin is here, as Hindu pointed out, to tell me how Mexiety gets themselves back into this set. I'm just kidding. Let's talk about the previous game. There were some question marks, I think, for Mexiety. We figured it would have been the Izanami in the duo lane. Instead, they stick Izanami in mid. They put the Poseidon down in that long lane. What are your thoughts on kind of some of that mixing around?
I like Merlin with Fenrir in that Fenrir has
right.
Yeah, he has the constant stun out of Fenrir to set up for all the damage Merlin can do, and it's going to set him up so well to farm safely. Merlin in the long lane normally would have a really hard time fighting into two gods, but Fenrir has that fight potential in of himself, so he doesn't really need to worry about that so much. And Izanami's going to have that constant lane pressure that we were talking about, except now it's in the center of the map, and it's like really inflicted upon more people.
I mean, if you're Mexiety now and you run this game back, same compositions, are you switching Merlin and Izanami back to maybe a more standard role, or do you think it was kind of rooted with the right idea?
The idea was there. It's really on them to focus on enacting a plan.
Sure.
That entire game seemed to be a clown fiesta from both sides, and Houdini just got the better side of it.
Yeah, and you look at, I think we'd be remiss if we don't mention SpreeeN on this Thor throughout this game. Found an impact early. There was kind of tug of war back and forth there for a little bit, but this Thor was never properly dealt with, and his impact was felt.
Yeah, SpreeeN, he made himself felt on the map. He really did. His slash line, it says more than I ever could about it, but I'll try my best. SpreeeN did so well controlling the map and making his presence known, not just where you would normally see it in the long and the middle lane. He was in solo getting kills, he was in the jungle getting kills, but some of that is really on Mexiety constantly fighting into it. He had the lead early, and they never at any point decided to slow down. That's a bit of a mistake. I'd expect we see them play it a little bit slower this game, or if Mexiety wants to keep going forward with this same plan, draft for it. Get those insanely fightable gods. Get a Robin or something like that that can really play around early. We see SpreeeN going in there trying to KS, doesn't find it.
I'm sad. If that kill gets stolen, I'm unhappy about it. But kind of piggybacking off of that, we talked about SpreeeN in this jungle on the Thor and what an impact he was able to have. Cerberus in the jungle, an interesting choice to be sure.
Cerberus in the jungle, it might not be the best pick. It's not the ideal place for Cerberus, but when piloted like that in such a dominant game, you can't really be too upset about it. He's got the defense shred. It's kind of like having a Guan Yu in the jungle, except now instead of your stun being locked onto your ultimate, it's on your first ability, and he can find it from a range, as well as the fact that he's got that huge teamfight ultimate to play around. He had a little bit of a struggle in the early game, as much of a struggle as you can say. When SpreeeN's just going hard, but
it's hard to keep pace with what SpreeeN was bringing to the table, and that's Cope. I mean, we saw the Ymir jungle out of him earlier. I mean, it's not that he's playing anybody who's bad, maybe less typical junglers, and still making it look pretty good. But Cope won't be playing in this next game. A Bossy Bee is going to be subbing in for him. Not as familiar with his god pool and sort of his tendencies, so picks and bans may look differently as we move in to this next one. Do you think that affects Mexiety in this one? You have a tough loss in game one. Houdinis kind of wiped the floor with you towards the end of that game. Now you have a different player. That's got to change around your mentality a little bit.
You got to really think about that going forward.
It is funny. It is wild how, something like that can really just throw you off your game. And I assume that they'll be able to recollect. They've certainly played with a Bossy Bee before, so in that substitute role, being able to come in and maybe change things up. Fenrir banned out, interestingly enough, from the Houdinis this time. Why do they maybe go that route?
They saw how potent it could be in that lane as support. I said it earlier, Fenrir support facilitates success, whereas Fenrir in the jungle requires it. Now that he's off the table, they can't look for those low-pressure late-game gods in the duo lane. They're going to have to go more towards a generic pick. Now it's really going to be back to like base SMITE, I think.
Well, to the surprise of no one, Thor is taken away from SpreeeN and what he was able to do there after in game one. Heimdallr, though, locked in here for Houdini. Do you agree with these two kind of going one for two, the first pick for either side?
I mean, Thor's been so dominant throughout the years. He's going to bring the map pressure. Might as well take him. Heimdallr, it's going to be a little bit harder for you know to justify losing that global pressure, but he's going to win that lane, or at least he should. The in-hand autos are going to deal so much damage in the early. It's going to be hard for anyone to box him out, as well as it's a flex pick. We can see it in the mid, we can see it in the long lane, we could even see it in the solo lane, so it's going to be hard for Mexiety to pick around it here.
And one of the first times we'll be seeing Khepri as well here in the NA qualifiers. Erlang Shen, I feel like we have seen two different sides to Erlang Shen throughout these sets here today. Not great for him in that solo lane in the last one. Mando having a tough go of things. I still imagine you like Erlang Shen where he's at if he's in a good situation.
If Erlang can find the lead in the solo lane, it's hard to claw your way back up. But I prefer to see Erlang in the jungle role. He's going to be able to have really sick gank potential with the turtle transformation as well as the CC on his ultimate. He's going to have this pin as well to get them locked down from a distance. But Ares, the pickup here, is really interesting, especially in LATAM, as I've been told by chat to say it. Ares has been a very popular pick in the jungle role. So that could be a flex as well. But then we see Mercury, and everything I just thought about is thrown out the window.
So, yeah, I'm not sure at this one. If you're pairing one of those three with a Heimdallr, maybe you look at it that way. If you're a Heimdallr, do you prefer one of those three to be picked up with you?
So there's a couple avenues of thought you can go down here. Erlang Shen's going to be able to match the aggression of Heimdallr and be able to lock them down and let Heimdallr deal a lot more damage. But Ares is going to be able to bring simultaneous damage, two huge freight trains running down you. Mercury, you would like to see in the jungle. I would personally love to see him in the jungle here as a pseudo-global presence with his Sonic Boom ultimate, trying to match that Thor's rotation pass a little bit. Olorun? Okay. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb now. I'm going to go ahead. Chat, feel free to lambast me later, but I'm going to say Olorun and Ares in the long lane, Erlang Shen in the short, Heimdallr in mid, and Mercury in the jungle. And you know what? I'm going to stick by it.
It's risky business trying to predict, especially a composition like that where everyone's going to go. He's going to stick by it. Chaac and Anubis, first time we've seen a couple of those gods locked in this time around for Mexiety. What do you think of those two?
Anubis is... you really need a king protection comp. Khepri complements Anubis very well in that when Anubis uses his abilities, he's locked in place. So he's just a free target, especially for someone like Heimdallr who's going to have these huge, strong autos. But Khepri can revive them, create the peel, and Chaac's going to be creating distance in the background, whereas you also have to worry about Thor with that global going to land in the backline. So having Anubis as a huge threat is going to be really good.
I forget there was so much speculation going into it. I don't think we can speculate anymore. Let's see where everything pans out for the Houdinis in Game 2.
Thanks so much, Dave and Myth on the desk. A fantastic job from the pair of you. I must say so myself. Myth's breakdown of laughter, by the way, was definitely caused by me, but he's got to learn to get better than that and not allow it to come through. Gore, how are we feeling about these comps this time round?
You know, they're definitely interesting. I like what Houdinis have been able to bring through. I think Ares is going to be very potent, especially in the long lane when it comes down to it. Khepri, Diesel here on the Hou Yi, also not going to have CC immune ult, so level 5, it's either a beads burnt or you're dead.
Cheeky and vague coming out from the Houdinis here, trying to slow down this purple buff start, where Diesel and Bossy Bee tried to make it work. As you can see, it's Sibyl in the jungle this time. Yep. Bossy Bee being replaced for Cope, so now he's going to go into the support role. But Bayroneri up against Sops at the level 1, and Goobis is Goobis, and you don't want to take a trade with Goobis at level 1, even if you are Heimdallr.
I'm going to say, I don't think you want to take a trade with Goobis, period. There are so many moments in a 1v1, if he has his cooldowns up, you're done. He melts, he shreds, and that's part of the reason that I like him so much. He's one of those like gods that he has a really weird place in the meta, which most of the time isn't. And then occasionally you get someone who pulls him out, can do really well with him. Really good shred on a Gold Fury, on a Titan, on a Fire Giant. It's so strong, but you need a little bit of help to get there.
SpreeeN dueling with Sibyl, and Sibyl losing this trade so far because Bayroneri's here. And Bayroneri, who just went down for first blood, turns it around and now Sops low on mana, a little bit out of position. Will have a little bit of damage to the Plague available soon, but at the moment he's just trying to use the basics to shred into Bayroneri, and Bayroneri answers back, and Houdinis turn it around. But in the jungle, Ricochet from Diesel connects, and Shiaaaaa in no man's land will end up back in the fountain too. 2 for 2 at less for 2 minutes in the game.
I don't think they got the memo that this is a new game. They are keeping the same pace as now they're going to be going in on Olorun. He's melted down. Mexiety put themselves up 3-2, and they might be able to find 4 here as SpreeeN is a little deep, steals the buff away. No, not able to successfully take it. As he's running around, the red buff on the ground.
Well, the good news
You just need
is,
a stun and a double tap.
I guess if this continues, you know, the group stages in a couple of weeks' time could be pretty quick if we're going to have all this action going on with certain teams. Solo lane fight going on, and Heeed is so low. One more Chaac would do it. Or even a minion archer at that point, but the sustain now coming through from those potions in tow. The back step away from the axe, and that could still be a kill in that lane. Shell popped. Was that a shell? No, tell a lie. MandoWarrior actually just managed to survive there at the tail end.
Oh, that's good damage.
Gonna fall down to Sops, and now Sops out of position.
No one's coming over for him either. It's just a 2v1. It's clean as far as they're going. Diesel and Bossy Bee, they're just looking for their own kills. They're at the tower line. Ares is actually going to be coming up behind them. But there's been almost no time to farm. Ares is level 2 right now. They are going to be able to at least get that kill on Olorun.
I feel worse for Doug than me and you right now, because he's trying to track. Zoom
Where do
in,
you
zoom
go?
out. He's like, yes, I can feel it. How do I keep track of all this action going on all the time? This really does feel like the ranked games you see on people's streams. Double taps, good. And Sibyl gets himself on the board.
You know the game's been going too fast because I haven't even been able to talk about the fact that there's a Chaac in the game, let alone where he's doing and how he's doing. And again, he's another one of those warriors that with Season 7, I wouldn't mind maybe seeing people test the waters, much like we see Mando with right now. Or you go back to what Mifflin said, where Mando can play like those first 50 gods incredibly well. I give him a little more credit. I'll give him 75. But he plays them really well and at a really high level. He's one of the few people who would pull something out like this.
Sops under a bit of pressure. Will drop a bit of healing down on the ground there. Now he's got full Bancrofts online, remember?
But Sops
and he's
is
just hit level 5. If he finds the wrap, SpreeeN could be under a bit of pressure here. But instead he's going over the farm. Meanwhile, Bossy Bee gets a kill on Shiaaaaa. And Ares having a bit of a tough time in this laning phase as Sops versus Bayroneri in mid. Bayroneri went for the ult, and Sops beads it away. Funny enough, I'm surprised Sops didn't go for the ult in response.
Yeah, that's actually one of the few things is right now, actually, Mercury incredibly deep. Sibyl, he played an assassin last time, not having too much difficulty adjusting to it in the jungle this time around. A good blink from SpreeeN might get him out, but he's running right to the duo lane where there's two people laying in wait.
But at the same time, there's a 2v1 in that lane, so they're coming around the back. Now the call comes through a little bit late for Mexiety to realize that. They will still get the kill. On the right-hand side, Mando fell down to Heeed, and in the sky goes Sibyl. Down he comes towards the Olorun, who uses the beads nicely to peel himself away. 8-4, 4.5 minutes in.
Just keeping it going. They're not even done. They want to keep fighting. Diesel maybe a little bit too much here. One good shot from this two could be great, but Diesel going to be able to fall back. But he's incredibly low. And all you need is one hit.
Quality SMITE play there coming out. And now with that, the ultimate's available. Fighting mid lane for Bayroneri versus Sops again. Sops healthy enough. Just waiting for cooldowns. Left-hand side. Nesfor will survive. Blinking from Shiaaaaa off the mark, as with the chains. And the searing flesh going down. The sustain from the cap will be good, but at least SpreeeN's there with the sonic boom.
That right now, well, Bossy Bee goes down. Anytime I want to go into a point, they're going to make sure they get a fight.
Chance, go.
But hey, if you're wondering what was happening in solo lane, here's something that came through. And admittedly, this is just Mando doing the same thing Mexiety did all last game, which was, hey guys, let's go in and fight more. And so far, it's not been working too well for him. Now it's 9-7, but Sibyl does the same thing over again.
I can't believe we see that 19 kills in less than 5.5 minutes. Welcome to the arena of the gods. Main thing with this game, Gore, is tickets, right? You start the game with so many tickets, and when your tickets dwindle down, then you lose the game.
Man, I'm really happy that they've got that juggernaut that's now spawned because they're at 11 kills.
When does that?
Actually, I think it might just be the fire giant that's going to be coming in soon.
Good point. Tabaku being started by MandoWarrior here on the Chaac. And you mentioned a little bit about Chaac. We might get a chance to talk about him as the fight continues. Production's asking me over under 50 kills, and go, I'm going to ask you that question now. Over under 50 kills by end of game.
Total or for an individual team?
Pick one.
Total over. For an individual team, under, but just barely.
Mando wins the trade with the ultimate over there. SpreeeN in mid up against Sibyl. Sibyl going to take to the sky. CC Immune will save him, and the up-down is good with Sops over the wall, giving the laser beam of death. Bayroneri still boxing away against Khepri, who's blocking most of those shots on the front line to keep Sops topped up. Shiaaaaa rotates in, searing the flesh a little bit, but takes a tower shot for funsies, and now we'll have to run away. Wouldn't be surprised if Bossy Bee finds a kill there. Left-hand side, there's a 1v1. Nesfor over a gate, step in, and he'll fall down to Diesel. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Sops still dueling it out, and all of this is for nothing.
It's going to be a lot of damage from Sops being able to set them up. That's going to be Mercury from downtown, though, setting up one more kill. Sops one punch away, but he has to dive the tower for it. He's only level 5. You might get the kill. but you trade out your life. It's a 3-for-1 across the board.
Order Archer. Can we get a replay of that Order Archer, please, production? That's what I want to see. That one Archer get himself on the board this game. Because now he's just making sure the stats are padded even more. So the gold is actually pretty close still. Mexiety surely have got about a 2K lead, funny enough. But I don't think it's all in their favor at the moment. This game is just too action-packed to really give anyone an advantage at the moment because everyone's just scrapping over nothing.
I don't even know when to start looking at objectives for these teams because I don't know how successfully they're going to be able to have 5 people grouped up for it.
You got time to wait for them as a ricochet comes through here and Nesfor falls down for his 4th death in 7 minutes. Bayroneri down on 3 kills right now. And while this fight goes on as a continued engagement, I want to see the Archer. Show it to me. Where is he? It's that. Oh, it's the back line one. It was the back one that got the last hit. Great job for him. Extra money in the paycheck for that guy. Shiaaaaa, though, still chasing down Bossy Bee. As he walks back, Sibyl walks in, and he'll find a kill on SpreeeN. 2 chains lands, as does the ultimate. Well, I don't think they'll mind too much here. Shiaaaaa should still end up falling down, unless some craziness happens. Archers were involved. There's like 8, 9 archers there, by the way.
I will hit the pause button, though. That was a really good air result, except for the fact that no one else was there. Then you get to go in. If you're Bayroneri, you're going to be able to find a double kill, clean up. He's able to engage off the air result just a little bit later than I think Shiaaaaa would like. Mando got a tower, but I don't know how much that's worth right now.
Well, that's not worth it at all, with the fact he was 3 levels above at that moment in time against Heeed in that lane, but his overextension and the continuing fighting has allowed him to catch up a little bit more there, Heeed, so a bit more free farm for him. Should get him closer towards that level 10 and making it only a 1-level deficit. Diesel will be back in lane, though. It's 7, 2, and 3 with this Blood Forge. Just SpreeeN in mid. We'll send Sops back to base to continue working on what I expect to be Typhon's fan.
So we're 9 minutes into the game, and I've seen SPL games that have ended with slash lines that look like this. Like, that is how fast they are playing. And right now, it's going to be Diesel in trouble. Chains are on him. Bossy Bee coming in behind, but Sanctified Fields drop down. Jungle Fight looking for just one more hit. And it's not going to be coming down for SpreeeN. Sibyl's going to be able to find that one.
And meanwhile, it should be a 2 kills here for Diesel if he can just find a basic attack, and finally he will. Shield comes into play. Meanwhile, Heeed trying to invade the speed buff 2v1. Turtle form will allow him to slip the noose for now, as Bayroneri will secure the red on the left-hand side. Now Sibyl up against Heeed. Heeed won't get hit by the double tap, but the jump 2 is good. Bossy Bee for the steal. Yes, let's go Bossy Bee rather. First kill for him. Sorry, tell a lie. 3rd kill for the Khepri.
Gotta have someone carry. It's gonna so far be Bossy Bee. 9, 2, and 3 though for the Hou Yi. Diesel's actually doing remarkably better than he was last game. Granted, it's almost all been team fights, so as long as he's able to find a good ricochet, which so far he's been hitting several, it's going to set him up, and now he's, well, wrong place, wrong time.
Well, at least he got a tier 1 tower at the tail end. The up, the down, and the round and round. No need to try and chase him down.
Oh, is he going to stay alive? Where are you going?
Do you know what? If he didn't use his 3 there, he might have got away because they couldn't actually find him. They thought he was all going to die towards that actual ultimate. I believe the same thing. Sibyl, level 10. And looking at the levels, there's 2 players with secondary relics so far.
Being able to come through. Hey, 10 minutes in, though. 23-16. Mando, they're still fighting. This time around, though, I think solo lane is starting to actually look like solo lane. Khepri has beads, didn't catch that one, and uses them.
Yep. I'm just in that moment now, go where I'm
just
like,
gonna
hey,
leave that
for some
on the
reason,
table.
like, this is your first cast, right? And straight away, it goes back to sort of the Challenger Cup level open bracket sort of casts.
Yeah, and I will say it's a little better though because those were Saturday mornings. Like you just wake up, and because of what I had been doing, I was usually up until midnight doing Friday Night Smite the night before. And so it was like you're tired from casting late night Smite, and now you're up waking up early morning Smite for Saturdays. But well, hey, same players, same level of play.
Yep. Diesel gets Nesfor, and now Shiaaaaa trying to juke out Diesel. Won't last long enough. Diesel will get the kill there for another double kill. One of the best slash lines I've seen out of him for a moment or two, as the whole of the Houdinis are dead for a deicide at 11 minutes. And it was across the map, by the way, boys and girls. That wasn't a team fight that caused that.
What we need, this is your brain on drugs?
Yeah.
We need Olorun to pull out like an SPL match, classic, 30 minutes, where it just ends at a normal time. That's a Smite game. And then this is Smite on drugs. This is what Smite on steroids is. A tier 2 at 11 minutes for Mando, 28-16. They are literally just playing the game at an accelerated pace. They don't care about the level deficit. They are just fighting nonstop.
Well, he actually got a couple of relics there, funny enough, did Mando, and I didn't expect that. He's 3v1ing at the moment. The sustain from Mando is pretty solid.
Chaac.
And he's actually doing a great job of just holding his own, but the problem is, round the back comes SpreeeN. The rest of his team continuing to farm as he draws all 5 members over here. Tier 2 tower on the left-hand side could be susceptible now for Diesel to look to bring down. As meanwhile in mid, Mexiety Onset also looking for a tier 2 there.
Oh, they're going to be able to push this up no problem. Sops has a little bit of control in the mid lane, although they're susceptible more to a gank coming through. It's going to be a blink and ult, but Beats out there. And that's actually a dangerous game to play against an Anubis. He can melt you down. Again, Sops has been a lot more... Well, he's been holding on to his ult more than I think I would in this kind of scenario. I would just throw it out anytime I could, much like that.
Well, he did get a pull out of Bossy Bee. Now Diesel got a tier 2 tower, went aggressive against Nesfor, will pay the iron price, and head back to base, giving the kill over to Nesfor to allow him to catch up. Tier 2 in mid will soon fall, and this just extends the gold lead a little bit more if they're lucky. Sibyl, though, looking for a solo kill.
And looking to be able to find it, but that's going to be good peel from the Mercury. They're both one tap. He's going to choose who he wants to chase down. And right now, it's not working out for him. That's going to be great peel from the team to keep him safe.
But now the rotation comes in from Sops, and the Locust will get the kill on Nesfor. Chains from Shiaaaaa good. Lazy back from SpreeeN will now be punished, even if he does think he's being smart at the moment. I am certain he will fall down eventually. By eventually, by the way, I mean not this fight. He's going to go back to base.
At some point in the game, he is going to end up dying.
Again.
It definitely has one more.
Yeah, that wasn't a caster's curse or anything like that. Maybe if I caster's curse this whole game, it might work. I think everyone's going to die in the next 2 minutes.
That's just true.
No, but if I caster's curse, it means it won't happen.
Then they'll slow down and we'll be watching a normal game.
We'll play Smite.
So I was thinking at one moment, a little bit earlier, that Gold Fury exists, but I forgot that we're playing Arena just on a bigger map.
Give you Gold Fury? What does it give you exactly?
You know, just a little bit of gold in your pocket, a little bit of experience, and a little
Why'd you care about those things?
Honestly, for them, right now, I don't. Actually, if I'm either of these teams, I don't think it matters. You get the Spear of the Magus up on this Anubis, the Typhon's Fang, as you had pointed out earlier. Lifesteal goes hand in hand with the Anubis.
Yep.
Spear of the Magus, people are arguing over, like, do we want it, do we not want it? I think it works on Anubis, but
period.
It's... Yeah, pretty much there. That's where it stops. You draw the line afterward, and man, does he hurt with this. But hey, another 5-man gank on solo lane.
Well, this time around, Mando might not be as easy because all 5 are here a little bit earlier on. Bide a bit of time. Where's the rest of his team? In the fountain or farming up mid lane. Mando just way too deep. He will fall down. And as you saw Doug point out moments ago, we're over 50 kills at less than 15 minutes.
So if you took the over-under on that earlier, you're now going to be able to collect gems in the chat. No, I don't think that's how that works.
No.
If only. Everyone in chat.
Don't be doing that.
Don't be doing that. No. We run mixer polls and set it up, and finally...
those gems come out of our coffers, you know. That's what we get paid in too.
That's the only, that's actually the only way I have it. 2 objectives at once. Fire Giant on board here for Houdinis. They might be able to take this without anyone noticing. Sops is going to be coming over. And well, if you need someone to steal it, Anubis is your best bet.
And here he comes round the back, but FG is already dead. Shia will probably die now to the Locust Storm. And the laser beam will get Heeed too. Olorun dropped down by Nesfor, and he will allow Bayroneri to get out of danger for a second with that portal back towards the mid lane. Nesfor gets the kill on Sibyl, and now a Bossy Bee. Needs to be very careful here. Diesel, though, still farming up in the mid lane at level 16, 2-level lead over his lane opponent, but the laning phase is pretty much over. Or was there even a laning phase to begin with? That is really the question.
I want to say no, and I feel like the answer might still just be no. I might go with my gut instinct on this one. But at the same time, Mexiety have managed to eliminate every single tower that is on the board for Houdinis. So maybe there was some laning phase just sprinkled in between the fights that have been happening in the jungle. As we finally, this is the weirdest silence. My brain's kind of fried. I'm so expectant of something to happen. I forgot items existed down at the bottom. I don't remember what ult timers are. I don't know what to talk about anymore.
You mentioned items. Houdinis don't even realize that second relics exist here with how this one's going.
Well, hey, sometimes you need that free ward. Get that extra coverage from that vision shard as it comes through. They haven't been able to come through.
We see wards placed, Doug, actually, really quick. I want to see if they place more wards because...
Dude, Ares is on top. Granted, Ares did just hit level 12,
that's
so
true.
Maybe it's not going to work through. And of course, now everyone needs to flame Sops on Twitter and in-game. 0 wards placed, and from the support. That's unacceptable.
I mean, also, you get a free ward. You get a free ward. How is that even
You
possible?
accidentally place more than 0 wards in a game.
Quality Season 7 to SMITE action going on between these two teams. SpreeeN's going to fall down. Fantastic beat Will not save him there. Meanwhile, split push Heimdallr on the way. He'll get himself a tier 2 tower. Mano y mano. Thor versus Heimdallr. Who is the battle gonna favor? Well, with minions in tow, Bayroneri steps up. Sibyl to the sky, and Bayroneri goes, I could be in trouble here. I need to portal away. And zoom, zoom, zoom. He's off back towards the left-hand side, but when he gets spotted here, Diesel's going to wrap round the back.
Oh, and you know Sibyl was just spamming that.
Yes!
Gets to the stun, but gets yeeted on out of there. And now Bayroneri is just going to lay in wait for the kill. One shot. And that's going to be able to find it. And I like the way that we've been seeing Heimdallr play today. I think a lot of people are using the knock-up really well after their ult to ensure their kills. And Bayroneri is actually going to get away with that. I mean, literally getting away with murder for free.
He really did, but that's the way this game's being played so far. Only a 5k lead for Mexiety. It's 17 minutes with a deficit of, I don't know, how many kills is that? 11 difference right now. So Mexiety still in control, even though it's scrappy as anything.
And the gold lead, especially at this point in the game, look at the gold fairy, maybe that is helping a little bit, but admittedly, once you clear off the 3 remaining towers that are on the board, it's going to change things. The sops goes into the ult. SpreeeN's going to get the kill, but SpreeeN is in an awkward spot, might be able to dash away from here. It's going to keep him safe just for a little bit longer.
And now Bayroneri up against 2 rotation coming in around the back as well, actually from Nesfor here to make it a 2v2. Now it's a 3v3 and Mando gets 1, Diesel another. And the chase is on for Shiaaaaa, who's still only level 13, unfortunately, with how scrappy this one's been. Heeed bans the ult onto 2, but he's not going to do much damage. Shiaaaaa, on the other hand, will fall to Diesel, as now there's only 2 members left standing for Houdinis, and one of those just respawned in SpreeeN.
Oh, they finally get rid of Heeed. I think at this point they're trying to make up for all the things that went wrong last game. They're just like, you know, Heeed was 9-1. Let's make sure he's 2-8 this time. Put him in the ground. Keep him out of here.
Okay.
And try to set yourself up. Totemaku, it's the last one that could exist in the game right now.
Do we think we'll hit 100 kills before the end of the game?
I don't know.
I mean, we're at 66,
that's up to Houdinis
right?
to be able to come through. I think they could close it out. What, that's 34 that they need? There's at least 10 more for Mexiety. They got to hit 50.
I feel like I should get them banned if they don't hit 100 kills. Just because.
They lose their spot in the group stage. They have to replay in week 3.
The drama that would cause. Can you imagine? 19 minutes in, though, between these two. Both these teams have qualified so far for the group stages, and this finals best of 3 is really more for seeding into those groups than anything else. And the hard work was done for this day. I'll give them a little bit of relief because these days are kind of long.
Oh, you
got to play consistently all the way through to get to this point.
Absolutely guarantee that there's so many times, even when they die, that they're just sitting back and laughing more than they are frustrated. Like normally, depending on the tournament, depending on where you are, like if you're a world champion or at the world championship and you die, it's frustrating. You feel it to your core. If you are, hey, I'm qualified, we're fighting for seeding, and well, we have 67 kills, you die, you're just having a good laugh about it.
Sops in mid will use his beads, and the lifesteal's just too much. Look at that resustain. Typhon's flying alongside the Bancross, and that's why it's so good on Anubis. Diesel will get a kill onto SpreeeN on the back end, and now Shiaaa's on the run away from 3. Olorun going to do a bit of split pushing, because split pushing is the answer in this game, it seems.
It's the only thing you can do.
Well, it looks like that's the case, because even Heed's doing it on the right-hand side. Shiaaaaa, with those chains, remember, those chains do slow down targets and give you movement speed.
Being able to kind of set you up to try and run away. Unfortunately for Shiaaaaa, that hasn't been working much this game. A dunk comes down. And well, Nesfor tried to split push. Again, laning phase is not allowed in this game. I don't think he got the memo.
You did mention about the chains, allowing you to run away. It's normally for chase, is why Ares gets that, right? Like, he chases, he hits the chain, they slow.
Sometimes you're also not level 14.
That is also true. However, to be fair, he's only still a level behind Bossy Bee as Heeed rotates to mid, soak up some farm, and instead it's a knock-up from Hou Yi. And Sops was waiting around the corner to pick up the kill. 5 members strong, Mexiety Onset. FG could be on the table at 21 minutes in the game.
I think if Mexiety get this Fire Giant, that might kill the hopes of 100 kills in the game. I just don't know if Houdinis have enough to defend.
I hope not.
And push onto it, because that's going to get melted. That almost could have been a steal there from SpreeeN. But you have Sops, who with ult still available. If it had been taken away, that would have been just destruction for them.
Have you seen the Khepri ult yet?
No, actually. I haven't even thought about that. Might have come through. No, I don't know if I have.
Production says maybe on himself.
That's cheating, though. That doesn't count.
Well, I mean, to be fair, credit to Bossy Bee for giving us an action-packed game.
Still 0
and giving
wards
Houdinis
placed.
a chance in this one by not dropping the ultimate down. Primal Fury starting up now after the FG, and this will, well, more than anything, just give them a little bit more golden XP if they need it. and another reason to waste time on this game.
I'm just giving applause to Shiaaaaa because everyone else, like the amount of wards placed, if you're going to fight this much in the jungle, you should at least have some vision on it, right?
That is a ranked game ward play situation.
He's got 14 at 4, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.
End of the game.
0, 0.
End of the game, you're Chaos side, you lose the game, and Chaos goes, GG, report support, did nothing. Right, because it's 2-9. When really, she has been trying to play his heart out so far. Nesfor in mid, up against Mando, and Chaac. Everybody! Spin on the spot, and down he goes. Nesfor is back to the fountain one more time.
You know, but thank God he just stole away that blue buff. It's going to be able to help him out. They're staying in it. That's the biggest thing. Getting a kill onto Diesel, you remove Fire Giant from maybe the best target to get rid of it just because of his potential push onto these Phoenixes. You keep your team alive. As long as you keep them zoned away, you're looking at a defense. I mean, we're 22 minutes in, but they're going to keep it pushing.
Tier 2 tower split push. Diesel hits the ricochet, and Sibyl hits the ult. After the spin, he falls down, and meanwhile, Mando on a wild ride around the map, thanks to Bayroneri and the ultimate there. Heimdallr going to continue to chase, and Mando going to do the double back and walk into the jungle, resustain back up, and that range just gives him so much sustain these days.
It's now 11,000 gold lead, and just solid control, I think, for Mexiety. There's not a lot you can do to potentially lose this one, unless you find a good team wipe. But right now, Shiaaaaa, well, and
you know what,
Heeed
Gore?
there.
You know what
Bayroneri,
I'm excited about
it.
more than this, right? We've had to cast this game. I'm looking forward to the death segment where we get Dawson and Myth breaking down exactly what went wrong here.
Well, what went wrong was if you bet under 51 kills, you're not getting the double or nothing trade.
I'm going to help him on the desk. I'm going to help him on the desk. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say this went wrong because now we're going to potentially have a game 3 between these two fantastic teams of individuals who've really given us a performance to really write home about, you know?
Well, you're getting a base race. We at least have that. One Phoenix down on the left side versus one Phoenix down on the mid side. But it's going to be a back here from SpreeeN. Instead of aggression, they're going for the Titan. They're going for the kill.
Thank goodness for that. And with that, Houdinis will lose game 2. Mexiety Onset will end on 53 kills. And I'm so glad the Pro League's starting up in 2 weeks' time.
To be fair, I don't know if that was in Houdinis' control for a lot of that. I don't think they decided the pace. They just eventually were like, all right, guys, look, we got to either match this or we're out of it.
Yep.
That was Mexiety Onset seeing like, okay, guys, we tried playing regular SMITE for a little bit there. Let's see what we can do.
Let's just give them as good as they got. So with that, we're tied up now
0
at
boards. I'm still tilted
1.
about that.
0 boards on the Khepri?
On the Khepri. Like, if you're Anubis,
no revives.
I can maybe
What's worse, no
pass it for
revives in the
sops?
Khepri or no wards in the Khepri?
Wards. It's 50 gold. You have a relic that gives you a free one on cooldown.
Chat, tell me what you think. Type it in chat now. I'll be looking over it because I've got nothing else to do at the moment. We'll be back after the break for game 3.